Welcome in to yet another episode of Building the Pride. I am your host, Drew, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Mike. Mike, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, Drew, and yourself? Yes, just as you take a drink.
This is episode 120 of this iteration of the show, and we're still doing stuff like this. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So, and it helps that the Lions won. So
It's always good on a victory.
Thursday.
What is it? Thursday? Victory Thursday. Yeah. It's I wasn't sure on it, man. With everybody in our secondary being hurt or suspended in the case of Branch, it was like, all right. I never even heard of some of these guys, and they played like dogs. They were real good. Guys I never heard of. I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan of you. Whatever your name is. It was pretty great.
Yeah. So we'll go over some of their names in a minute here. So do you want to just jump right into the game then?
Yeah, let's do that. It was a dub, and let me throw the 24-9. 24-9. So what were your initial thoughts?
So I followed the game while I was at work. By the way, if the Lions ever have a game at 1 o'clock on a Sunday again, I'm just going to be ecstatic. Like Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday, Thanksgiving. I mean, come on. I mean, like, I get it. Like, they're good, so they're going to get primetime scheduling, but I do miss the Sundays at 1,
Consistency, right, is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was following the game at work, and I was following ESPN's Gamecast. I wasn't actually watching it. I was just kind of getting like the updates as to like 2nd and 4, Goff over the middle to St. Brown for 7, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And what a different experience when you either are listening to, like, we used to listen to football games on the radio, and now following the game on Gamecast, it's a different experience because I went back and I watched the game, obviously, but like when the thing that I remember most about my initial impression, as it were, was what's wrong with our offense? Like they put up 24 points. It's not bad, clearly enough to win this football game by multiple scores, but
we left a ton of points on the field.
But that's it. That's it. There was obviously Gibbs had an enormous play, and like that made up for a lot. Can you imagine what this game would have looked like if that play didn't happen? Like if it's 17-9, it looks like a very different, and Tampa Bay has to play differently. The Lions have to play differently.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, it just doesn't look as crisp. But I know that one of these weeks, like Giovanni Manu was the left tackle, and then it was Dan Skipper who was the left tackle, and this week Decker's back, who's very clearly still hurt.
Yeah, you could see him just grabbing his arm and shoulder,
trying to loosen his shoulder up, and I'm just like, take him out. You're telling me Skipper didn't dress for this game? Nonsense.
Decker was our 4th highest graded player on offense.
Which the dude is
played
just
pretty well.
Tough. The dude is tough. Yeah, he did play well.
And I don't know if you've looked at our PFF scores. Speaking of an offense that's left a bunch of points on the field, do you know who our top and bottom performers are as far as PFF grade, which is not always the end-all be-all, but who was our best, who was our worst?
Let's just start with let's just go right into the grades.
Do you want me to share the screen with them all up?
Go right ahead. Right ahead. So I'm guessing it's Jahmyr Gibbs was our first, and I'm guessing Jared Goff was our bottom.
Close. Gibbs was an 81.9, and he was second. Sewell was an 89.6, but Goff was a 37.4.
Yeah.
And it felt like it, to be honest.
So, okay. So a couple of weeks ago, PFF which is now run, which the people who own and run the company are not different, but like their on-air talent is vastly different than it was 2 years ago. Their new head of on-air talent, like their main guy, his name's Trevor Sycamore. He does a good job, but he is the kind of guy that's like, I am about tailoring it to what people want as opposed to like, here's the data, you know? And I got into PFF because they were like, here's the data. Let's analyze the data.
Yeah.
So I'm not as big of a fan of this version of PFF as I was a couple years ago, but
like the on-air version, not necessarily
yes.
like this. This is not necessarily strictly for on-air. This is the data.
Yeah. Correct. So, but he was Lions fans in the chat or whatever, and you know, like the Lions have the most active, passionate fan base in the NFL, and it's not close. Were kind of ripping PFF for like their mediocre 65 grade of Jared Goff. And their reasoning for the grade was like, this is not bad. Like, this is, you're doing what's asked of you on the majority of plays is to, you know, +1, -1, you're at 0, you know, Jared's a little bit above that or whatever. And like the reasoning behind it is Jared Goff stands in a pocket and he's pretty well protected all the time. And he goes through 2 or 3 reads on a play and inevitably ends up checking down on like the overwhelming majority of his throws. And the ones that he doesn't check down are two
broken plays half the
time. Really well, you know, really, I mean, he's throwing to guys like Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who have like 2 of the best set of pass catchers as far as like not dropping the ball is concerned in the NFL. So he doesn't have to do much. Like he doesn't have to scramble and make plays outside of structure and throw off his back foot. And
we're not asking him to make big time throws, 20+ fields, tight windows. Our guys get open, right?
Down in distance, like just move the offense. Like he is a conductor of a train more than like he is an F1 driver of a race car, right?
Right.
So when he is off a little, he gets grades like this. And when he does a good job, he gets like grades like, yeah, you're somewhere between like 60 and 70.
Yeah.
Because he's not asked to be a world beater. Now, I did have a question.
It's just not our scheme, right?
Right. It's not the scheme. Like first of all, could he do that? No, he can't. Like he's just not athletic enough to do that kind of stuff. But like also they know that and they don't ask him to do it. So I mean, like, what's the problem? I mean,
right. Yeah, I mean, so like, could he do more big time throws, more downfield? Probably, but that's just not what our offense is built for. That's not what we are scheming for. And why would we want to break something that's not, or fix something that's not broken? If Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta can get you 6 to 8 yards every single time, why do you need to throw the lower percentage play of 18, 20, 30 yards downfield? You don't need to. If you get enough of those 6-yard throws and our running back can get 4 to 6 yards a carry, nothing can stop us except ourselves. And we don't have to do anything crazy or super impressive. So, which is why you don't see he's got 2 grades of 80. Everything else is in the 68 to 71, or he had a bad day. And because, 60 is your 0, right? Your starting score essentially is 60. Like if you have a couple pretty brutal plays, bad fumble, bad interception, whatever it is, you're going to get penalized because you're not making it up with the big ones.
Right. Exactly. Well said. So I also don't necessarily think that we're protecting him as well as we have in the past. Like there's been multiple times where he's been sacked and it's just like, I know in this game, like they brought a free rusher, and it just untouched, wasn't picked up, never had anyone over there to account for that rusher. That guy gets home and gets a sack on Goff. There was a couple of times where like the pocket collapsed and like he either got rid of it really quick, but for an incompletion, or like had to take the sack. And Yaya Diaby beats Decker gets under Decker and gets a hand around and causes a fumble in the first quarter. And that's happened now 2 times in 3 weeks where the left tackle gets beat and knocks the ball out of Goff's hands. And that's why he has to be protected as well as he is.
Yeah.
So
I was very frustrated with. I mean, the one a couple weeks ago, the more that I watched, the more I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just being too hard on him. This one, I'm like, man, how did he not feel that pressure? Because it was collapsing in on him from both sides, and he still didn't step up, and he kind of just left himself in that situation. So I was a little frustrated with that. More frustrated with this one than I was the other one, I think.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head there, is that so one thing that especially young quarterbacks, which Jared Goff is not, do to their detriment is it's called drift, where they just continue to move backwards away from pressure.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? Get away from the guys, the 270 plussers that are coming screaming off the edge with their hair on fire trying to kill you. So they just keep backing up in order to get away from the pressure, and they back up so far that their tackles, who are trying to push the player past the quarterback,
out and
end
around,
up pushing them into their quarterback, and it's not the tackle's fault,
right?
But Jared Goff was deep in that particular sack where Diaby
didn't step up. There was room to step up, and I'm like, you missed an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree.
And to your point,
it was like 4 seconds that he had the ball too. I mean, like you got to cut bait and get rid of it.
Yep. But to your point, look at the kept clean. When he's kept clean, he's at an 84. And when he's under pressure, he's at. Everybody has a lower score under pressure.
That's every quarterback. I mean,
but 30.3 is real low. But if you look at the number of snaps, the dropbacks under pressure versus the dropbacks not under pressure, those are a slightly higher percentage of under pressure this year, I believe. So 34% last year. Where were we at? 30. It's about the same as last year. I was thinking it was more.
That was a bigger sample size last year too.
True. So 35 2 years ago, 33 last year, and 34 this year. So it's about we've kept him clean about the same as we have in the past. But let's see, what was his grade last year? Last year under pressure, he was 51.5, which actually isn't bad.
No.
For the under pressure, if I remember right, that put him in that 13 to 8 range of ranking for under pressure. He did quite well.
Okay. So
I mean, kind of back to here. I thought JMO, he needs to follow Amon-Ra around and be like, oh, you're doing the jugs machine 112 times. I should do that too. He had a couple drops again. I'm just catch the ball, do the things. So a little disappointing there. And Monty never really got going. He got more snaps this year or this week and just didn't quite do it.
If you told me that he got 30 snaps in this game, I would have been shocked. It just did not feel like it. Some of these are not many of them, to be honest. I think I'm talking 6 of them.
Only 3 of them were runs
at the end of the game.
Sorry, 13.
Yeah,
13 of them were runs out of the 30.
Yeah, some of those runs, at least 5 of them are just under 4 minutes, and they're just don't fumble and just run straight forward into the line, so the clock keeps going. Okay, whatever. I mean, that has value to it as well. He was horrific at pass blocking in this game. There was twice where he just whiffs on a guy, and one of them led to a sack. So I mean, he didn't play great, but Jahmyr Gibbs did.
His number get increased.
I don't understand. Where is Raymond?
30.
Yeah. So this has to be switched.
Right. I totally agree.
This just has to be switched. I don't understand why, with what this kid has showed, whether it's training camp, preseason, the first 5-6 weeks of the NFL season, why he's not getting 30 snaps. Remember, a year ago they had Tim Patrick on the field as this X wide receiver.
Yeah,
and he's out there blocking and like almost being like a secondary tight end on the field. So it was like 22 personnel or like
12.
Yeah. And so like it was super helpful. And like they have him being, I think one of the reasons he's not playing as much on offense is that Khalil Dorsey is our second gunner on punt coverage, and he's taken over that role. So he's playing on punt coverage. And so they're not giving him as many snaps on offense. That's a guess on my part. I can't think of any reason why you would give Khalif Raymond 30 offensive snaps.
Yeah, in this game. And like Tesla's not a small dude. He's 6'4", 217.
He's not slow either. Like that's just it.
Right.
Like I know Raymond's really fast, but like
that's why we have JMO.
Yeah, exactly. But
we need 2 JMOs out there? No.
Did you see the kid from Iowa? He's a sprinter at the halftime of the Iowa game last week. They let him run a 40. He ran a 4.15 40.
Jeez. No, I did not see that. That's so fast.
Now he's a sprinter, but like if you double that out to like 100-meter dash or whatever, he's running it in just under like 12 seconds. Like it's unbelievable how fast the dude is running.
And 12 seconds to take a kickoff to the house. Jeez.
It's so crazy. So that was some absolute speed. But like I was
happy to see Mahogany and Ratledge both have real good games.
Yeah.
It seems lately it's been a little bit inconsistent. Like one of them would have a good game and one of them would have a down game, but having both of them, which I think is one of the reasons why our offensive woes were more pronounced, because I think our offensive line did a much better job. I mean, Sewell was our number one. Take Taylor Decker, Ratledge, Glasgow, Mahogany, or 4, 5, 6, 7. Like 5 of our top 7 players were our offensive line. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that protection, the fact that we didn't, we had, fumbles and interceptions and, missed plays, missed opportunities, I think just maybe it became more pronounced. And they did just an amazing job of run blocking and opening up holes you could drive a Mack truck through, at least for Gibbs. They didn't seem to do that for Monty for some reason. I don't understand that. But Gibbs was just electric.
I loved his spin into the end zone on I think it was his second touchdown. It looked like just a Madden play. Like, I got stopped. I'll just smash the spin button, and he just spins into the end zone. Did you see Tate Ratledge on his 70-whatever yarder where, like, as soon as he gets past the line of scrimmage, he just puts his hands up in the air because he knows he's gone? Yeah, that was great.
That was awesome. One of the guys on my team actually went to that game, and he said, he's like, I've been going to Lions games for a while. He's like, that is the loudest I've ever heard it. He's like, it was like ears bleeding loud after some of these big plays, especially like when the interception got overturned, where they gave us the interception when we ripped it out of his hands.
Yeah.
Like it just exploded.
Yeah. Like I watched the game and you couldn't hear the ref during the broadcast because the fans were so loud. I just want to,
especially when they chanted "ref, you suck" after the one pretty bad call.
I do want to check something, but while I'm checking this, I do want to kind of give a shout out to the fans here. Like, it does not seem to matter in what aspect you discuss Lions fans. They are simply the most involved, active participants in their team more so than any other team in the league. They travel better. They sell out the stadium better. They get louder. They are in group chats. They are in, on different streaming services. They're creating content. Like it is the most passionate fan base in the NFL, maybe in sports. I mean, outside of like international soccer, where, I mean, those guys are just like practically like cults for their teams. But like, but the Lions are doing their best impression of that, like their fans. Like, I understand that, like, I'm still waiting for the perfectly officiated game of anything.
Sure. They're humans. So, like I've done officiating, not for football, but I've officiated hockey, ice hockey and floor hockey. And there are just, I was telling my son this, I'm like, there are so many things going on that you have to watch. And there's so many rules and you have to be perfect because there's 40 million people. Now, granted, in intramural rec ice hockey and stuff, there weren't 40 million fans, but there was friends of the players in the stands. They'll let you know if you miss something, but it is so fast. And whether you just, I don't know, a mosquito, is by your eye at the time and you have to blink, twice instead of one, like just all sorts of shit can come up where you're just like, I didn't see it, or I was a half a step out of the perfect view, so I didn't see the face. It is, I do feel for the referee. Some of them are just like, how did you miss it? Sure. And then some of them are like, I totally get it. Like I literally have been there, and it is way harder than most people realize being on that field or on that sheet of ice trying to do this at such a speed.
I know that the refs get paid pretty well. Like depending on what kind of ref you are, right?
Yeah.
But I still don't know that I'd want that job.
Oh, for sure.
So especially on this scale. So, and like, okay, so in the game, the numbers of penalties accepted for each team was 6. So, I mean, as far as the scale of who's being penalized more, it was dead even.
Right.
But here's what the controversy really comes down to. And by the way, fans of every team has a fan base, but like there is no longer any logic to fandom. I have such a problem with people being like, we lost, the refs screwed us.
Every time.
Did the refs screw Baker Mayfield? I counted, like, when he overthrew his wide receivers 4 times in this game, including a missed touchdown to Tez Johnson. I mean, like, he was just sailing the ball constantly during the game. And I'm like, do you think Cade Otton's being short on that 4th down conversion attempt is going to make up for the fact that you just left like 80 yards and a touchdown on the board because you just sailed the ball?
Right. And did Hutch really actually only have one holding call against, or did they maybe miss one or two? Like, yeah. I mean, it's impossible. Like every play could have a flag thrown on it, and some are a little bit more obvious than others, and some actually look obvious from the TV, but are far less obvious and less, less of a sure thing, from the ground. So,
there is if you looked at the stats, which I'm doing right now, and you looked at this game, you would think this game would have been like a 1-point score. So like total plays, 66-65 Tampa Bay. Total yards, Detroit had 120 more than the Bucs did. Time of possession, 28 minutes, 20 seconds for Tampa Bay, 31 minutes, 40 seconds for, the Lions. Turnovers, 2 apiece. Penalties, 6 apiece. Lions had 15 more penalty yards assessed. But like the game, what everyone seems to be mad about is like the interpretive calls. It's not about, we had like, you had 1 penalty and we had 10. It was, we reviewed the play. Mallett we're giving the interception to Mallett, which Cade Otton did not catch that ball. So there's no.
He never once had a hand.
He never had a hand underneath it.
Kind of like crooked in the arm, but after.
I mean, if a Tampa Bay fan was watching not San Diego because they don't exist anymore, but Los Angeles is either Los Angeles team's tight end catch that ball, it's an they don't have it. But because it's their guy, he caught it, and that's how fan bases are. So, but the guy that got there and got his hands underneath the ball first was Mallett.
Yep.
So,
yeah, and I think I know that there's the biggest controversy, I think, in refereeing in the NFL this year has been New York.
Yes.
Right. And the eye in the sky, the reviews and those kinds of things. I think I know that there are rules around it, like not yesterday's Monday's game, but the previous week where they overturned the Goff touchdown because of illegal formation or illegal shift or whatever. And supposedly that came from New York. The one referee told Dan that it came from New York. The pool referee that talked to their pool reporters say it didn't come from New York. I don't know, and I don't honestly care. And so I know there are rules around what they can and can't do, but like at the same time, I want it to be officiated correctly. If it was an illegal shift, then it shouldn't count. End of story. Like you can't go like, oh my gosh, New York made them call the right thing. We would have gotten away with it if it wasn't those meddling, officials in New York. Well, we shouldn't have. It was not done correctly, so it shouldn't count. In the same way with like this past week on that fourth down call that they ended up reviewing and then marking, and it was like a knuckle. It was a knuckle short, but it was short, and so like. You have to get it right. And I don't care if it comes from an on-field official, the eye in the sky, or New York. You have to get it right. And so stop complaining when New York comes in and says, or anybody comes in and says, you got it wrong. Let's flip it to the correct thing and move forward. Mm-hmm. Whether it's for you or against you, it's the right thing. So stop whining.
Yeah, it's a bad look. I mean, okay, so let's get to some other things in this game. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on, Mike?
Let's talk about the defense.
All right.
Because the defense was stellar. Yep. These guys in the secondary, I'd never heard of Whiteside before. I'd never heard of Mollett. I hadn't heard of he's down here. I thought Hallett and Rocky Sin actually played better than what PFF gives their grades for. But like these guys played incredibly well. Really impressed. So give them their props.
So all of those guys are practice squad guys.
Yeah.
Who have been on either the Lions practice squad or in camp over the last 2 seasons. All of them. So yeah. Oh, Al Karsten. Sure.
Yep. So Whiteside, 83.9 PFF defensive grade, 5th highest among all cornerbacks, not just, in the game or whatever. Like he was the 5th best performing cornerback in the league. Mm-hmm. And he only had 15 career snaps before this. And that was 2 years ago. Like the dude came in and balled. So big shout out to Whiteside. He played really, really well.
So we hear the terms next man up. We hear the term like grit, playing with heart, that kind of stuff. This is the best version of those things, is how these guys in the secondary played this week. Amik Robertson forced a fumble. Hallett had Whiteside had several pass breakups, like in the end zone that would have been touchdowns. Like especially the one over the middle to Ibuka where Baker throws off his back foot because Anzalone's coming in on him like a missile, and he just gets his hand on the wall. The dude is enormous. Click on him for a second.
Which one?
Whiteside, number 2. I thought he was bigger than that. He
plays bigger than that.
He looks way bigger on the field than 6'1". But all of these guys, except Amik, and you can argue Amik is not quite a starter because the Lions play base so much that he's not a starting cornerback. He's our nickel, starting nickel cornerback. All of these guys were either practice squad guys or maybe backups. Like Rocky Sin, Avonte Maddox, who was hurt and didn't play in this game. Like those are the backups. These guys are the guys that the starters practice against.
Yeah.
So like
The asterisk means they started. So Rocky Sin was a starter this time. Lacey was the starter this time. Hallett was our starting safety. Amik is our starting left cornerback. Harper was our starting free safety. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, I think, is for the most part actual starters. But like half of our defense we're not traditionally our starters.
You know, Trey Flowers, they signed off the street 2 weeks ago. Now he's only been in camp for like 13 days.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't normally get like really, I mean, like I am a passionate person about football, but like I was fired up watching the way that these guys actually played out there. Like they didn't miss assignments. Yeah. They tackled consistently.
Actual hands on the ball, pass breakups and pass defenses. In critical times too, like in the end zone touchdown kind of pass breakups. That was
stellar. It was opportune, when they decided, when they came up and made plays. Like it was, he was amazing.
12 pressures amongst 0 sacks, but 11 hurries. I mean, you're a wrecking ball.
He is number 1 in the NFL for pressures by a country mile.
Again,
so I think the next dude is like 34 and he's got 48,
which is crazy because we don't really have anybody on the other side that makes it easier for him, right? He's doing it. Although, man, the middle of our defensive line played real well. We got some good push. Reeder played really well. Aleem McNeil played. I thought he played better than this 59.8. He had 5 pressures.
Does that say he played 45 snaps?
45 snaps.
Wow, I thought he would have been on some kind of snap count. Like 45 is 3 times as many as I thought that he would have played. That was
I figured he'd be in that 25 to 30 range, depending on what the game looked like.
That's almost I think that's more than 2/3 of the actual defensive play. No, they got 70 play. Yeah, it's 2/3.
Yeah.
No, 3/4. Right? What am I doing wrong here?
You're 4.5 sevenths. How's that?
Thanks. Okay, sweet. We're just going to divide by 10. I love it. So a little more than half. So like he deflected a pass. He had consistent pressure. He required double teams in the second half. Like he was eating up additional defenders. Like when he is on the field, he's the next best pass rusher that the defense has. And if you have plays where a guard has to occupy him for part of the time and the center has to help for at least a couple of beats, and Hutch requires, a player plus a chip, like so now you're dealing with at least 3 guys for 2 players, and you're getting a man advantage out of that. It just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that they have not invested in another guy who can do basically anything. And like, I appreciate what AQ Muhammad has done this season. He has played very well this
9
season.
Pressures with 1 sack.
Yeah. Like but how many snaps did he get? 47?
47.
Yeah. So like the fact that they have not invested in a guy that can do that, I think he's close to 30. AQ Muhammad is. And
30 and a half.
Okay. So, he's exactly 30. Great. So I didn't sound too stupid.
And a half.
Yeah.
And
a little wiggle room there. Yeah. But it just breaks my heart that like they haven't invested in another guy that can like clean up the stuff that like Hutch and McNeil cause. So
yeah.
Maybe this year I'll just hold out. Year 5 of Brad Holmes, year 6 of Brad Holmes, finally going to get another defensive end. It's going to happen someday. Campbell's
eventually. I just want to see us finally get ink on paper for Hutch.
It's going to be enormous.
I know. That's why I want to get it done now before it gets bigger.
Well, I think that
if you do it now, isn't it going to be at least a couple $1 million less than if you wait until after the season he wins Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, so he'll get another accolade, but I think that the thing that's probably more indicative of what he's going to get is what Micah Parsons got from the Packers after the trade.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be, I think that Hutch's representation is going to have a really solid case to be like, Parsons just got this. Are you saying that you don't value Aiden as much as the Packers value Micah?
Right.
And they very clearly do, and so like the other thing that Hutch is doing this year, which I think is just continuing to show like the evolution of like him as a player, is he's causing fumbles instead of getting sacks. Like he's like, well, I have alligator arms for a defensive end by NFL standards, and so instead of trying to get the sack every single time, I'm just going to see if I can get the ball every single time. And he's number one in the NFL currently, or at least tied for first, with forced fumbles. He's got 4 of them so far in the year. And if you extrapolate that out over the remaining weeks, he's going to have something close to like 9 or 10 forced fumbles. And like I will give up a number of sacks for a number of attempts at a turnover every day of the week.
Yeah.
So very happy with his performance, but like I think it's going to be something like $50 million a year. Micah got 47 on the extension.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially if he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, I really don't know how you could say no at that point.
Let's see what we're looking at. Blocking. Let's go to defense. Edge grades. So we got Parsons at 93.4, Hutchinson at 92.2. Yeah. Hutch has him 1 more sack, 11 more hurries. Now, granted, also a lot more snaps.
Hutch is, I believe, number 2 in the NFL in snap count.
Yep, behind Crosby.
So,
which, I mean, honestly, having a higher snap count, yes, it does give you obviously more opportunities for sacks and pressures, but it's also a lot harder to keep the grade up. Once if you only have a three plays that you're grading, it can be pretty easy to get those big numbers, right? So
is this? Am I reading this right? Because I don't have my glasses on. Hutch has what 115 more snaps than Parsons.
Yes.
So that's 2 games.
Yeah,
that's like 2 games.
No, they have had a bye week, so one of those games is a bye week.
Okay,
so Hutch does have 1 more game on him. But yeah, he's played more snaps, more than a game's worth of snaps.
Just ridiculous. And that stupid fucking tie is still helping them so much right now.
Yeah, there are 4 5-win teams in our conference, and they are 4-1-1 and technically first place.
Yeah, they have 1 less win and they're first place. So
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know if because next week is gonna be a bye week, right? So we don't really have a hey, let's talk about a week 8 preview. So I think next week you're looking at maybe doing a mock draft or 2. Do we want to take a peek at where our players are on the?
Well, can we take a look at the schedule real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'd be happy to do that.
All right, so
let's go all the way back. Can we go back to the beginning?
We sure can.
Week
1 in Green Bay.
Right. So this was the game everybody was like, all the things that we were worried about the Detroit Lions coming into this year are true.
Yeah.
Right. Coordinators, interior offensive line, what is it going to look like? Right. And it was like, gross. I think Kelvin Shepard, at least, has answered what's the defense going to look like? Now, they're healthier. They're not, I would say right now, they have had about half the injuries that they had last year, right? And so, we have a later bye. Finally, no week 5 bye, right? Thank God.
Yep.
But, I thought I was never. I mean, we may never see a Lions Super Bowl, but I also thought we would never see anything other than a Week 5 bye for the Detroit Lions. So
you're saying there's a chance for the ring,
right? Yeah.
We are the second highest graded defense in the NFL right now.
Exactly. So like, we have quantitative stats, right? Like we have like tally mark shit, regular old stats, like how many numbers have you accumulated? And then you have advanced stats, which are qualitative, right? How well are you playing? And the Lions are at right near the top of the league, right? So Kelvin Shepard, I think, has answered that bell through 7 weeks of the NFL season. Doesn't seem like that's going to regress. Morton, I'm a little less certain. I think maybe the turnover at interior offensive line has caused problems. Decker's injury has caused problems. We're certainly not averaging the number of points that we had last year. However, we averaged a ridiculous number of points, near greatest show on turf numbers last season. And they're winning games. And I mean, all you ever need to win a game is one more point than the opposition. Asked the Green Bay Packers about that.
Yeah.
But, so, you don't need to win every game 33-10, in order to have it, quote, be a good win. But like, these games are closer and the Lions are leaving opportunities on the field, and against really good teams, which the Lions have traditionally struggled against, you cannot do that. So I want to see a more crisp, even more efficient offense from these guys. And they do have a couple weeks to get healthy, a couple weeks to practice. Let's crisp it up. Air fryer.
So you were talking, so we got our analytics stuff, like your PFFs, that's, that takes into context and situation and that kind of stuff. And then you've got your raw metrics. I think lineups.com to me is one of the best ones with that, where you can actually see where everybody is offense, defense. So this is currently ranked on the number of points given up.
Mm-hmm.
We are 14th, so kind of middle of the pack there. The number of plays, we're in the middle. But like when we start looking at rush yards, we got a really good run defense. We're not giving up much in the way of rush yards. Pass, we're kind of in the middle of the pack there. Real good on fourth down. Real good on first down. So like, and then I think these interceptions, we're sixth most interceptions. If we sort by like turnovers, we're tied for third for the most turnovers.
That's the big one.
Yeah. Sacks, we're tied for third.
Really?
Yep. These are points scored. So like we've got a safety. Yeah. So sacks, we've got 23 sacks on the season. So tied for third there. Interceptions, we have 7 interceptions. So we're tied for sixth. And then turnovers, we are tied for third. So like the team things are fantastic. The allowed stuff, still, I think, the points allowed isn't terrible. On the defensive side, we're right in the middle. So I like going to the ranks. You can see where they're ranked very easily.
Nice.
Offense. We are third in points right now, and 14th in plays. Right, so we're a little bit quicker scoring off. I mean, the Colts are even quicker than us. They're first in offense and have even fewer plays.
They're crazy right now.
Cowboys have our most yards. We're 7th most yards. Passing touchdowns, we're number 2. Rush yards, we're number 3. Rush touchdowns, we're number 2. Total touchdowns, we're number 1, or tied for first. Fourth down percentage, we're 15th. We're right in the middle of the pack for percentage, but I bet we go for it more. I bet our N is a much higher than most of the others. And then turnovers, we're kind of in the middle of the pack as well. We're at 13. So for the raw stats, that's kind of what we're looking at for the Lions.
Cool. That's cool. Look, I'll have to use that more often. Can we go back to the schedule?
Yes, sir.
All right. So then we got healthy against the Bears. Scroll down.
Yep.
The Ravens are in a free fall. The Browns are the Browns.
That was before the free fall. I mean, I guess it wasn't before, but like.
Well, you're right. That's true.
Jackson was still there.
The beginning of the free fall, right? So, yeah, Jackson played. Most of the Kyle Hamilton played. A lot of their better players played. The Browns are the Browns and will probably forever be the Browns. The Bengals are the Bengals, and we gave up way too many points in this game. Then the Chiefs, we went to Arrowhead because we always play the Chiefs in Arrowhead, or not Arrowhead, whatever they call it now.
Yeah, it's Arrowhead.
Is it still?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Gaha Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Oh, the stadium is Arrowhead. Okay. And then the field is something else. Oh, neat. That's exciting. And he's, Patrick Mahomes is still one of the best.
This is where they get the $10 million a year for a naming right.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we come home, we play, and then we get healthy against the Tampa Bay Bucs. Derail Baker Mayfield's MVP.
I'm not sure we got healthy against them. Half of our defense was backups.
I mean, winning.
Gotcha.
Won the football game. So, okay. So now we've got a bye. So you're going to have 2 weeks to prep for the Vikings. Yep. You cannot lose. This is not a must-win game, but you cannot lose to the Vikings. You have to beat your division. Your division opponents. And I don't think they will lose to the Vikings. This one's at home, if I'm reading it correctly.
Yep.
Ford Field.
Correct.
It's our place. And
we are going up against the reigning coach of the year, though. We have to consider that true.
Don't get me started. And he's a good coach. I'm not going to try and take away his laurels, but all
right.
He's not Dan Campbell. So
agreed.
I'm not concerned. Sorry, Joseph. We will log an official complaint with YouTube. I'm sure they'll jump right on it for our 150 plus account. But
just randomly check at noon every day.
Yeah, just
we don't know which day, but it's going to be at noon. We don't know
which day we're doing it. So just at noon every day, just check. They have handled the Vikings pretty well the last 3 seasons. Like the Brian Flores defense has just not been as effective against Detroit as it has the rest of the NFL. I think that they can run on this team. I think they can throw on this team. I think that the Lions are going to have to outscore the Vikings pretty effectively. And I think that it's going to be something like what we just saw. Oh, I appreciate that, Joseph. That makes my day. Then we're going to go to Washington. Now, this is not the Washington that I thought that we were going to see this season.
Yep. They have not played. They're under 500, I think, right?
Or
did they win this weekend just to get back up to 500?
I don't think that they did. They are 3-4 currently.
Yeah.
Now, and Jaden Daniels is going to miss this upcoming game with a lingering hamstring issue. So I don't know what his status will be for this game. If he's limited at all, it's to our benefit, right?
Yep.
But I'm not too concerned about this game now either. Like they're playing more like who they were before Jaden Daniels. So still, you got to respect them and you got to not look past them, right? But I like the fact that they're not the world beaters that they looked like last year's playoffs. Then we go to Philly. Philly had a bit of a funk there where they lost 2 straight.
They almost lost to the Rams. They had a kicker.
Right. And didn't they block a field goal or something in that game?
2 of them.
Oh,
they blocked 2 field goals, and I believe one of them hit the upright or was naturally missed. It was
interesting.
It was not a good special teams day for the Rams.
So this will really test the Lions' run defense, and then the kinds of wide receivers that the Eagles have, a great big one in A.J. Brown, and then a little quick one in Devonta Smith, plus a pretty solid tight end in Goddard, are, I think, going to be challenges to the Lions. And this one has all the markings of like who gets the ball last. What are your thoughts on the Giants? I think that they're a scrappy
I'm not worried
team
about them. Like,
okay.
I think that we should be able to handle them pretty easily, but they have played better this year than I expected them to play.
Okay.
I expected, I will say, I'll give the coach props. I expected them to hang on to Russell Wilson longer. I think my prediction was Jackson Dart would take over around Thanksgiving. And he starting at week 4. And I think that helps you get that young blood in there. You get a kid that's trying to prove himself, and he's talented anyway too, right? So I think a lot of that stuff changes how which plays you run, because he has different skills than Russ did. So I think all of that kind of helps make it more difficult for their opposition to actually game plan, because I don't know what this kid does yet, because we have very limited film on him. So I think that helps. I'm just not worried about them. From a Lions standpoint, I think we are better than them in almost every facet of the game. So I'm not worried.
Yeah,
but they've been a good story for New York.
Sure. Let's see. Then,
what about you? Are you worried about the Giants at all, or?
I'm always worried about teams that, quote unquote, don't have much to play for except pride, because this Giants team this year reminds me a lot of like year 2, second half of the season Detroit Lions, not because they went on like an 8-game winning streak or anything like that, but because it's like, oh wait, we're better than we thought we were. We're proving it, and like they have an energy about them. And I think one of the big things that trip up good teams, the Lions, when they play bad teams, the Giants, and they're still bad, is that can you match their energy sometimes? And the Giants
overlook them too, right?
Yeah. And the Giants have a really good defensive line, like an excellent defensive line. And so can you mitigate that by running the ball on them? Because if you can, it's a long day for New York. And if you want to pass and their line is going to get home, it could be a long day for Jared Goff. So what do we do? Like that's my question. I trust the fact that they're going to prepare well, go in and let their talent win. But
yeah, to your point, they are the 9th PFF grade wise. They are the 9th best pass rush grade.
Yeah.
But on the run defense side, they are the 29th best run defense grade. So
I would
this
be doing
might
that.
be a thing where I don't know, a lot of Monty, a lot of Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That would be fine.
They are 8th best in coverage, which.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this is a prime time to just get back to basics and ground pound.
Happy, yeah. All day, every day to every team, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Thanksgiving against the Packers at home. This is the game I want to win more than any other game all year. It's on Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday. And it's against the Packers, which might be my second least favorite team in the NFL. So
who's your least?
The Jets. I abhor.
Yeah, okay.
I just New York Jets.
No offense, AG. We still hate the Jets.
I was hoping, quick aside, I was hoping that we would see a philosophical culture mindset shift from the New York Jets team, similar to what the Giants are showing this year.
Right.
And it has not happened. And that's the biggest disappointment for me. I don't give a shit if they're winning or not. But like the thing that Campbell did that got Detroit pointed in the right direction toward becoming a winning football team was to change the mindset and to change the culture, which I always had downplayed as like the culture. Fuck off. This is a game about talent,
Right.
But
I remember having those conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, he could play defense. He could play DT on passing downs. I think that there's other guys, Joseph, that are better suited to playing defensive tackle on passing downs. Guys like Josh Pascal, if he ever comes back. Guys like Pat O'Connor, Tyrus Wheat, Tyrus Lacey. Like these guys, they have a bunch of guys that are like these hybrid DT DNs, and it's just about, I think, putting them in the right place. Like even McNeil, McNeil played nose tackle at North Carolina State in college, and they moved him to 3-tech because he had quote unquote that stuff. They drafted Tyleek Williams, primarily to be
that big guy in the middle.
Yeah, that big guy in the middle, and then now they've got him playing 3-tech. So like primarily, so like. Can he do it? Yeah, he can do it. Should he do it? Probably not, because he's probably better suited to be like that edge ceiling defensive end. But like, who would you put on the edge on passing downs? Muhammad? Because I could understand that argument too.
That's who I'd do. He's played really well on that.
Yeah,
in that role so far.
He's been great this season. Dallas, Dak's playing well, but the rest of the team is awful. So I think that's going to be a win. I don't know if CeeDee Lamb's going to be back for that game. At LA, Rams
yet another Thursday game too. Back-to-back Thursdays.
Oh, they do have back-to-back Thursdays this week. So
yeah,
and then that's a Sunday. So at least they'll have a 10-day week for the LA game.
Yep. With the travel right out west.
There will be more Lions fans at that game than Rams fans.
I would not doubt it.
Yeah. Actually, like their stadiums are now putting out text blasts to their season ticket holders that are like, do not sell your season tickets to Lions fans. Do not do it. And they still do it.
Right, because, money.
Right, exactly. Because they're human beings who aren't billionaires. So Pittsburgh, this is quickly becoming the game I want to win second most on the schedule. I hate Aaron Rodgers.
As much as I love Stafford, the Rams game is the one that I'm looking forward to most and want to win.
Yeah.
The last time we were in LA was the first year after the trade, and they beat us. I think both of the other two times we've beaten them at home, and I want to beat them in LA. And they're looking real good. I mean, they could be almost undefeated right now if they had a kicker. And so I think they're going to be real, real tough. And I think if we can go in LA, beat them, and I don't care if Stafford has 5 touchdowns, if we have 6, right? Like,
sure.
I just want us to go in and get the W, because I think it helps us record wise and positionally for the playoffs. But B, it also gives us another notch in the belt. Like if we see these guys in the playoffs, we're just not afraid of them, right? Whether it's at home or away. $24 for a Chargers ticket.
Oof, that's not good. They're not having the best season. They've been really hurt by injuries, but and then we finish the season at Minnesota, which might be I guess I'm wrong because we have an 18th game. So then we go at Minnesota, which I think will be a win, and then at Chicago, which I think will be a win. And I think the Bears will be trying to play spoilers, because I think if the Lions get 2 division wins at the end of the season, that'll probably lock up the division. So
do you think they're going to be playing for playoffs though?
The Lions?
No, the Bears.
No.
No.
So I saw The Athletic put out a playoff simulator where the Bears were quote unquote in the hunt with like 9 wins, and I'm like, 9 wins? The fuck you talking about? Like
they're 4-2 right now.
They were 4-2 last year, and they lost 10 straight.
That's true. And interestingly, they've got 4 out of 6 of their games are wins, but they are a negative 3-point differential.
Also, on your little lineups website, when you clicked on interception or like on turnovers, they're number 1 in the NFL. So
for offense,
No, for defense. They have caused the most turnovers in the NFL, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. So if that dries up at all, coupled with your negative 3 point differential, those wins become losses quick.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't even know who they played.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm curious if did they beat up? Are there 4 wins against the Jets and then the Jets again?
Well, yeah, they're playing a 4th place schedule.
So they lost to Minnesota week 1 in a squeaker. We beat the bejesus out of them week 2, and then they went beat the Cowboys, beat the bad Raiders, squeaked by
25-24 2 weeks in a row. That's weird.
I forget, there was a stat around that where a team that won by 1 point, the same 1 point score 2 weeks in a row was the first time it's ever happened or something. And then they beat the Saints. So yeah,
the Saints?
Beat a bad Saints team. They beat a bad Raiders team. They beat a struggling Commanders team, and they beat the crap out of a mediocre Cowboys team. So 4-2 is still 4-2. They don't ask how; they ask how many. But I think this could be a win. I think this could be a win. Hell, they could be 6-2. I think this could be a win.
Yeah, but I think
this could be closer.
They could also be 4-5 and over that same 3-game stretch, right?
For sure.
So
yeah, I'm looking at their schedule and it doesn't look super daunting.
It's because it's a 4th place schedule. It's terrible. I think they're going to get exposed. That's my take on it. So
I hope so. I don't want to play them.
The Bears?
If they are doing well enough to make it into the playoffs, they're probably.
Hey, scroll back up to when we played the Bears the first time. Just do that. Do me a favor to end the episode. Just scroll back up to when we played the Bears. I just want to check something real quick.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
I want to play the Bears every week.
We're not going to win all of them, though.
We'd be 9-1 if we played the Bears every week. I can't wait. I want them in the regular season. I want them in the postseason. Every chance I can get my hands on to play the Chicago Bears. Let's go.
Yeah, the nice part is I think we match up really well against them. What we do well, what they struggle to stop. I think that we match up real well.
Yeah, and
I think this shows that out, right?
Discrepancy. Yeah, the huge talent discrepancy, I think, is a major factor as well.
For sure. Boy, all right. Well, I'd like being at where we're at 4-2. I like an early bye, and I like the schedule that we got coming up, especially some of the teams that we thought were going to be real challenges, have some injury challenges of their own, so it makes them a little bit easier. But at the bye, I'm happy with where we're at.
15-2 is still on the table. I just want to point that out.
15-2 is still on the table. I would love that so much, Drew.
It's not statistically impossible. So next week, Joe, if you're still listening, Mike will not be here. I will be doing the show solo, so we will do it next Thursday at noon. I'll just lock that in right now. And we're going to be doing some game. Well, we'll be coming up. It'll be the bye week, so there'll be no game to review. Yep. So we'll do a game preview for week 9, and then we'll do some stuff that I really like, talking about the roster, do a mock draft, look forward to the 26 off season because that is my football season. And hopefully we'll have a good time then. So bring questions is my desperate plea. We can go longer than an hour too. So
awesome. Well, I will talk at you later, Drewster. Thanks, Joseph, for popping in. And go Lions.
Yep. Have fun at your conference, man.
Always. It's a good time.